Welcome to another edition of the Worst Case Scenario podcast, and we are bringing our NFL picks, reviews, and previews. We are reviewing Week 12 and previewing Week 13 in the NFL. And a shout out to everybody. Happy Thanksgiving from the Worst Case Scenario podcast. I am your host, Phil. With me is D'Lo. Say what up, D'Lo.
What up? What up?
And Bennett. Say what up, Bennett.
Happy Turkey Day, y'all.
And we had some upsets this past week, as me and the boys were just talking about before we went on live. We had some upsets in the NFL. Guys, let's jump right into it. We'll start off with last Thursday night's game, which was a shocker. The Steelers dropping a 24-19 game to the Browns. The Browns overall move up to 3-8. The Steelers drop down to 8-3. What was your thoughts about this game, D'Lo?
Who was it? The Steelers and Browns?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's a typical Jameis Winston game, man. Like, 1 week he'll come out and throw fucking 6 picks and shit like that, and then the next week he'll come out and win a big game like this. So it's a typical Jameis Winston game. But it was a fucking blizzard there, man. Like they were playing in some serious snow, dude. So,
Bennett, what was your takeaway from this game?
It wasn't a blizzard to start off with. It ended up being a blizzard in the second half. So the Steelers have been hot. The Browns have been blah. Jameis Winston, as you said, I mean, sometimes the guy comes out looking like an all-star. Sometimes he comes out looking like a fucking rookie out of ISU. You know what I mean? I did pick the Steelers with our picks last week, as I think we all did. But right before the game started on Thursday night, for whatever reason, I chose to pick the Browns, and I ended up winning some money. I don't know. Something just fell off to me. It's like, man, you know what? Jameis and the Browns are a talented team. They just haven't seemed to put it together. But with Jameson back there, I mean, you never know what you're going to get. So at the last second,
he's a risk taker, man. I mean, he'll fire that ball even if he's thrown 5 picks in the game. He's still out there slinging that ball like he can give a shit less.
He's a gunslinger, like Phil always likes to say.
Yeah,
gunslingers, baby. Yeah. Hey, they throw a lot of interceptions, but they also throw a lot of touchdowns. They keep you in the game. They also cost you the game at times. So,
what'd you think about the game, Phil?
We had all picked the Steelers last week in the picks. We all thought that was like a foregone conclusion. I was shocked by it, man. I really was. But the funny part was I had a lot of guys out on one of my fantasy teams, and when it came down to either between picking Caleb Williams or Jameis Winston, so I went with Jameis Winston, and he got me like 15, 16 points. So it was what it was.
You missed out because Caleb Williams went off this week.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Browns are not like the worst team in the NFL. They are not. No. They just the quarterback position has been that weird rotating chair where they paid this guy guaranteed all this money, and he's out, and Jameis Winston stepped in, and he's going to win them some games. He's going to also cost them some games. So I mean,
yeah,
I'll tell you what,
you don't go 3-8 as being just the quarterback position. I've seen teams that has no quarterback, a good defense, a good rest of the team like the Browns have, go 8-8. I've seen that shit happen. And look at the Bucks. What was that? 99. I know it's a long time ago, but you got a good defense, and you still you win the Super Bowl. So I mean, when it comes down to it, and you got a team like that's that bad, but you got talent, don't you go to the coaching?
Yeah, it's the same old Browns. Just like the same old Jets.
But it came out this week that they're planning to retain their GM, their head coach, and Deshaun Watson next year. So,
well, they have not learned their lesson.
I mean, with Deshaun Watson, if you let him go, you're going to have to eat probably about 100 to probably close to 100 million of that contract. I think he's probably got paid about 100 to 140 of it. I think, or 100 to 130 of it. I think it was 230 guaranteed. So
I thought he got all guaranteed.
Yeah, it was all guaranteed. 230 like fully guaranteed.
Might as well keep him. He's just taking a roster spot. That's it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is what do you do, man? Do you keep a guy on the roster and say, all right, we're going to bring in some quarterback competition with this guy and see if he can improve but what do you do if a $2 million backup outplays him and this fucking $45 million guy sitting on the bench? I mean, at least the Giants said, you know what, dude, we got to cut ties with this dude. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they did with Daniel Jones. Now he's signing. It was official this morning. He's signing with the Vikings. Yeah.
Yep. That was probably the best spot for him to go to. He wanted to go to a contender. Now, if Darnold goes down hurt, you know what I'm saying, Daniel Jones can step in, and we can see if it's an issue with talent, like maybe they didn't have enough talent there for Daniel Jones with the Giants, because the Vikings got plenty of talent. So,
well, I think he was probably not just looking at the fact that they're a contender, because I think San Francisco reached out to him as well, which San Francisco's kind of down this year, but not just a contender, but you're also looking at, two pretty. You got a stud receiver in Justin Jefferson, and then you got a pretty good one in Addison, and then you got Hawkinson. That's a damn good fucking comfort comfort zone there. So, I mean, they're in pretty good shape. That's a pretty good spot for a quarterback to want to go to, man, for sure.
I agree. They got Jones there, good running back. So, I mean, but the thing is, the question marks in Minnesota has been the quarterback position itself. So Jones is thinking he could slide in there maybe and take some reps away from him. Look at Bennett smiling and laughing.
I'm laughing because Daniel Jones is like Sam Darnold did it. Why can't I do it?
Well, yeah. I think that's what he's kind of thinking. He's thinking that that O'Connell, the coach up there, he done good things with fucking Sam Darnold. So why wouldn't he be able to go up there and play good? You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny that we're talking about the Vikings, because that was the next game up where Minnesota pulled out a 30-27 win over the Bears. The Bears dropped to 4-7 on the season. The Vikings move up to 9-2 on the season. Now this is your guys' forte. We haven't done a Jet Up Bear Down podcast this week. Guys, tell me about this game. Bennett, start off with your rants.
Man, it's pretty much same old, except for like the Bears played better. I hate saying this. I hate fucking saying that. It's 2 weeks in a row I've said, all right, they play better. Well, that don't count if you don't win the game. It doesn't matter if you don't win the fucking game. They played better, competitive, up to the very end, and then overtime. They won the first onside kick in history since you had to claim an onside kick. There was actually another one later on in the day, but they won the first claimed onside kick that said, I'm going to onside kick, and they won it. They got the ball back, went down there, last second, scored, sent it to overtime, and then failed to produce, man. They lose. So,
D'Lo, go on your rant. What happened here?
I mean, there's not a lot to say, man. Other than the fact that with good coaching and a proper offensive line, this team could just as easily be fucking, sitting right there at number 2 or number 3 in this division, man. I mean, we're falling behind further every week and shit like that, but we're right there in every game. That's the crazy thing, is we're right there in every game, man. And that's the life of a Bears fan, man. I mean, we've dealt with more heartbreaks than.
That's not true.
What? What's not true?
We're not right there in every game. The Cardinals blew us out.
the Cardinals smoked our asses. You're right about that. And I felt like the Patriots outplayed us when we played them.
Yeah,
but those are the two games. But those are the two games where I felt like we got our asses handed to us.
Well, I mean, the games that you look at, the Commanders with the fucking Hail Mary, the Packers with the block field goal, and then this with fucking you coming back, and then coming out looking like you're stronger than the Vikings, which is one of the top teams in the conference, not even in the division, in the conference, and you take them all the way to overtime and you blow it. It's clearly to see. This is more of an episode for a Jet Up, Bear Down episode, but clear to see it's a fucking coaching thing. I would talk about this no matter what. If it was the Dolphins, if it was the Browns, the Steelers, whatever, I would always put this much emphasis on this. But it's a coaching thing, and get this motherfucker the fuck out. Get him out.
Okay, so Bennett, I got to ask you. Caleb Williams has looked better under this new offensive coordinator. Do you think that we should consider him? I don't. I don't. I think it's going to be one of those things that you make that mistake of not going for the guy that's probably a surefire, and you're taking a chance on a guy.
This is the NFL. Phil, I want you to chime in also. This is the NFL. It's a totally different industry, but it really sucks when you're working a job like us 9 to 5 folk do. Really sucks when you're working a regular job and you're outperforming management, supervisor. Really sucks when they don't even take you into consideration. And you think you can do the job, which I'm sure he does, and he has. But it really sucks when you don't even get a shot.
Yeah, I mean he's getting his shot as a coordinator at this point, and he's looking good. So it's probably going to get him a job elsewhere next year. But I mean, should we consider him? But should we consider him for a head coaching position?
Yeah, we should at least consider him. Here's what I would do today after the Lions game. Unless something disturbingly goes wrong, fire fucking Flus, leave this young guy, Thomas Brown, in charge of the team. You know what I mean? Sorry to put so much on your shoulders, but get yourself a defense coordinator. You still run the offense, you still run the head coaching job, you still make all the decisions. It's like a trial period. It can't go any worse. It cannot go any worse.
I agree, man. So
to not give this guy a fucking shot, a legitimate shot, would be a travesty.
I get nervous about, okay, so what if he comes in and goes, how many games is there left? This is week 13, so we got 5 games left, 4 games left after this week. So say he came in and went 3-2 into 5 games. Dude, like, it don't mean to me that don't tell me that he's a good coach, man. You know what I mean?
No,
like
he 5-0. You need to go 5-0.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's my thing. Like, because Antonio Pierce got hired in fucking Las Vegas, and I don't think he's a good motivator, but I don't think he's a great coach.
He's what they needed at the time.
Yeah.
And there's 6 games left, D'Lo. 6 games left in the season.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you guys this.
Phil, before we move on, what do you feel about that? Like not so much the Bears. I mean, it is the Bears we're talking about, but how do you feel about like coaching spots like that?
Well,
you've already been through a little bit of it this season.
Yeah, as the Jets already looking for a head coach. I was watching video of Rex Ryan throwing his hat in, and he said he feels like if he was running this team, they would have a completely different record. He said he never had a team with this much talent, not in the years he was ever with the Jets.
That's not what he said. He said if he was running this team, they would be undefeated right now, dude. So,
well, I mean, that's probably Rex Ryan's bravado talking. You know what I'm saying? Coming out.
That's your bravado talking too, Phil.
Yeah. But, there's a lot of guys in the NFL that deserve their crack at it. but that doesn't mean that they're going to be a great head coach. At times, they're going to look like great head coaches. You know what I'm saying? There was times where Saleh looked like a great head coach, but there was times where, you know what I'm saying, it's like you guys
they're
said,
saying
he wasn't running.
they're
the
saying
team.
right now that one of the guys that's becoming one of the front runners for the Bears is the head coach out of Oregon. I'm like, fuck that dude. That dude is not proven. Like at this point,
Not in the
like
NFL.
you said, yeah. So
Let me ask you about this. Was this Caleb Williams' best game as a pro?
yeah, probably.
340 yards, 2 touchdowns. He didn't turn the ball over.
But I mean, he's as a rookie has thrown for 300 yards, 3 or 4 times now, dude. I mean, the kid's legit, dude.
He broke the Bears record for rookie.
Bennett, too, in this game, both quarterbacks threw for over 300 yards. Even Sam Darnold threw for 330 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So both quarterbacks really brought it in this game. You guys tell
the Bears defense is lacking all of a sudden.
What is it?
The Bears defense?
Yeah, trust me, I understand that because the Jets came in with one of the best defenses this year. How, I don't know. When you look at the stats, it's just, I don't see it. So, all right, we'll save the rest of that for a Jet Up Bear Down podcast. We'll move on to the next score. And the next score we had was the Lions coming out getting a 24-6 victory over Indianapolis. Indianapolis dropped to 5-7 on the season. Lions move up to 10-1 on the season. Now, Bennett, you said you don't know what it is, but there's just something about the Lions that you aren't buying. Are you buying them now?
This was another game. They won by 14 points, 20-6. But there was a lot of parts of this game where they looked piss poor. I mean, you're playing the Colts, which is the whole all the way across piss poor team, but the fucking Lions playing the Colts, they didn't look like they could score 54 points. They got lucky. It looked like they scored 20 points.
They scored 24.
Well, whatever. But I'm just saying they didn't look like the Lions that we've seen every week where all the highlights and Amon St. Brown, Jamar Gibbs, David Montgomery, all 3 had a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what you get out of them every fucking week. Just stop these guys from fucking scoring. Focus. I don't know how anyone else could not put it together better. They do have a good offensive line. Their defense is above average. But at the same time, put your fucking focus on these 3 guys when they're in the lineup. Usually only 2 of them are in the lineup at the same time. Jared Goff is not a good quarterback. This is a real easy problem to solve, and the NFL has not solved it yet.
Scoring at a historic rate. They were putting up 40, 50 points at a historic rate. I don't understand quite what you're talking about because the Lions, to me, are 1 or 2 the best team in the NFL. You can put them at 1 or 2. I mean, the talent's there. Just in this game, I see you say Jeff Goff isn't that great of a quarterback. In this game, they rushed for 3 touchdowns, got the win. I mean, whenever they're lacking in a game, somewhere else on the team picks up. So, I mean.
Hey, when they lose, they're going to get smoked.
Well, they've only lost once this season, and I think that was by 3 points.
I know. I'm just telling you, when they lose, they're going to get smoked. It's not even going to be close. We're talking about like 41-10.
I'm not buying what you're saying. I'm buying Lions.
Here's the deal, man. Bennett has been killing the Lions all season, and he keeps saying that this is a simple fix for NFL teams to I just gotta believe that some of these defensive coordinators are as smart, if not smarter, than than Bennett right now talking on this podcast, and they're seeing the same things, and they're realizing when they get out there on the field that it's not as simple of a fix as what Bennett seems to claim that it is. You know what I mean? So,
they can run the ball in Detroit. They can pass the ball in Detroit.
They're a very balanced team, and they got a good offensive line. They got a good coach. Jared Goff is not a great quarterback. You're right, Bennett, but he's good enough to get the job done. And here's the thing: as much as he's not a great quarterback, the dude has had some phenomenal games this year. Dude, there was a couple games where he's only had like 1 or 2 incompletions in the whole game, man. So and that's not normal golf. Don't get me wrong, that's not his normal way. But he's playing out of his mind right now, and I just don't see him coming down off of this fucking high right now, dude. They're talented. They're putting it all together. They're figuring out ways to win games when their passing game's not on. Their running game is. When their running game's not quite there, their passing game is. It works, man.
Listen, guys, I've been proven wrong. I don't know. What is it? What are they? 91?
Most of your life.
Yeah, sure, most of my life, but. Out of this year, when it comes to NFL football, I've been proven wrong 9 out of 10 weeks. So I'm sticking with my narrative. I'll take that shit all the way to the Super Bowl with me.
They're not. Where the Lions will probably be.
What?
I said where the Lions will probably be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll take it all the way to the Super Bowl.
All right, well, let's move on to the next game, and we had the Dolphins picking up a 34-15 win over the Patriots. Patriots dropped to 3-9 on the season. The Dolphins move up to 5-6. Tua, 4 touchdowns, 317 passing yards. D'Lo, what'd you think about this game?
You know, it's crazy, man. The Dolphins look like a totally different team with Tua back there, but here's the big but. Today they are coming into Lambeau, and I looked it up, and Tua has a terrible record in places that are under 40 degrees.
I believe
he doesn't play well in bad weather, and but yeah, I mean the Dolphins. I feel like the Dolphins have a chance as long as Tua stays healthy. I mean they got a talented squad down there, man. Good receivers, good running backs, an okay defense. I mean, a defense that keeps them in the game. But Tua's the X factor down there, man. If he goes down, the whole ship sinks.
So. And we've seen that earlier in the season where they were in that funk. They were struggling to get wins when Tua was out. He comes back and he's giving them new life. Bennett, what do you think about this Dolphins Patriots game?
I really like the coaching in both aspects. Mayo took a lot of heat during the beginning of the season. McDaniels has been called a genius. I don't know if he's a genius. If you're a genius and you lose your star quarterback, you still win games, but he didn't. So
Belichick was a genius.
I look at like the McVays and the even the Kyle Shanahan, like above old boy down there in Miami. Because like Bennett said, you know, it needs to be proven that if you lose your starting quarterback, that you can have somebody step in and at least be formidable to replace him, man. These guys that have stepped in, they've been terrible, man. And but if you look over time at the 49ers, I mean, they choke in the playoffs every year, but usually when their starting quarterback has went down, they've had somebody step in and play decent ball. And you got to give that credit more to the system than to who they have on the roster.
I agree.
Well, you gotta accommodate to what kind of quarterback you got coming in as a backup. And if you don't accommodate to that, then if you're losing consistently, it's because you're coaching and you refuse to change the system. Now, if you're smart enough to accommodate and change your system up, to make it more worthwhile for this guy because this guy is more of a pocket passer. This guy is more of a screen passer, whatever. I mean, whatever it may be. If you're not making that change as soon as he gets in the game, then that goes on you and coaching.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, like I said, I think that some coaches just have schemes that you can pretty much just lay anybody in and they're going to put up good numbers. I mean, nobody could have predicted that Brock Purdy was going to step in and be solid, dude. That's Mr. Irrelevant right there, dude. Like that dude usually gets cut before training camp's over.
But,
you know what I mean?
And at the same time, we'll get on to the game later on. He is not what we thought he was when McCaffrey.
No, he's not. He's not great, but I that's why I'm giving credit to the system.
I'd like to call out Shanahan right now and say, you're not a genius because you didn't accommodate to McCaffrey being outside the game. You did your job accommodating to the quarterback and fixing the quarterback position when Purdy came in, but when McCaffrey went out, you didn't think about that, and they took.
I just think that it exposed a major weakness with the Niners while McCaffrey was out, because that Mason was putting up good yards, dude. I mean, he was putting up over 100 yards a game, a touchdown and shit. Like, what's that, bud?
Earlier on in the season, but as the season went on, Mason's numbers went down with each game.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Maybe they didn't adjust the scheme like you're talking about, man. I'm not sure, man.
Because the defenses that they played watched the film and they adjusted to that.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
He wasn't inside. He wasn't outside runner like McCaffrey was. He wasn't a triple threat option like McCaffrey. He was an inside runner. So you bring your defense in and you make Purdy throw the ball when you want him to throw the ball, and it got mixed up for a while and they couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. And then they started to catch on to that. That definitely makes sense, man, because but like I said, that seems to be the way things have been in Shanahan's system. Guys have been able to plug in and play like that, man. I remember when Jimmy G was going down with injuries, they were just plugging in fucking a backup quarterback. They were down to their third and fourth string guys, dude. And you don't know how those guys are going to come in and play, man. And they were still going out there and putting up numbers, man. So,
yeah, maybe he's quarterback friendly, man. They still won with multiple quarterbacks, but he could not win with multiple running backs when your running back was the star of the show. He didn't know how to figure it out. At first, he just gave the ball to this guy. This kid's probably talented.
yeah.
But he didn't know how to figure it out on like third down and long. When you still needed the running back to be in the system, where McCaffrey would come out and perform, but on third down, Mason couldn't because he wasn't in a running situation. He was in a passing situation.
Well, yeah, and McCaffrey's one of the best dual threats in the league. I mean, he's great at catching out of the backfield. You can shoot him inside, you can shoot him outside, you can fucking. I mean, so McCaffrey's one of those that's a complete package, and to replace him, you're gonna need multiple different running backs. You know what I mean? That's the one thing that I believe makes
multiple different running backs, but you're also gonna have to need multiple different running or scenarios, game playbooks, play call. You know what I mean?
But we go back, and that's one of the things that I believe makes the Lions so strong, man. Is they do have.
God damn it! I'm not going back to the fucking.
I'm just saying they do have that personnel to be able to switch in and out and shit, man. So,
all right, let's move on to the next game, man. We had Tampa Bay picking up a 30-7 win over the Giants. This win brought the Bucs up to 5-6 on the season. Dropped the Giants to 2-9. We got to see Tommy DeVito in his first start. And in his first start, Tommy DeVito went 21-31 for 189 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Baker Mayfield looking like a stud, 294 yards on the day. D'Lo, what did you take away from DeVito's first start? and Tampa Bay winning the game?
I mean, I think at this point the Giants are trying to play for Shedeur Sanders. They're talking about that they're very reluctant to fire Dayball. And so it's just one of those things. I mean, everybody believed that Dayball was a good coach coming out of Buffalo. So if you still believe that he is, then you want to hold on to him and see what he can do with the real quarterback. They obviously didn't believe that Daniel Jones was a good quarterback. They released him. What was it? 2 years into that 5-year deal that he signed.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they just feel like that Dayball got the short end of the stick on that. But I don't know. It's just crazy. I feel like the Giants are playing for Shedeur Sanders or whatever. I believe they already said that DeVito may not even play this week. He something's injured or whatever. So they'll be down to their third. Yeah, Drew Lock will take over, and he'll get fucking killed out there. I mean, it'll just play out how they need it to, which is them falling into a great draft pick. Now, whether or not they get the Shedeur Sanders or not, I have no idea. But there's a couple other quarterbacks out there that's decent. That Quinn Ewers. What's that? That goddamn, I can't think of what that kid's name is. I don't know. Anyway, there's a couple other decent ones out there, but
this is actually, to me, this is a weak quarterback class coming out. Would you not agree?
Yeah, no, it definitely is. This isn't to me. I don't see any franchise changing quarterbacks in this class, but
No.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I mean,
no, I agree with you. I don't think that there's any quarterbacks that's going to come out that's going to light up the show this year, like I said. So,
but again, I could be wrong. I mean, I didn't see Bo Nix having as much success as he's had in Denver. You know what I mean? And so, if he sustains that success, he's going to be a good quarterback, man. But and then there's ones where we thought the dude had a chance to be a good quarterback, and it's turned out to be horrible, like Will Levis. You know what I mean? So, it's just so hard to tell. What's that?
I never thought that.
Actually, I think me and you both gave Phil shit on Will Levis, but I was just trying to give Phil a little credit, man.
Otherwise, I like to call them Levi's.
No,
Will Levi's. Bennett, did you have anything? You have anything about this game you want to talk about with the Bucks and Giants?
Yeah, two things. One, Levi's it's not that's not how you pronounce it. You're fucking retard, which we all know. The Giants and DeVito, are they playing for a draft spot?
The first number 1 overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Bucks, man, hats off to Baker Mayfield, but man, goddamn, it's not going to happen.
All right. That was his take on it. We'll move on to the next game. We had the Cowboys picking up a 34-26 win over the Commanders.
This one I've been
to 7-5. Cowboys move up to 4-7. What would you say, Andilo?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, was it you, Bennett?
Yeah, this one I've been waiting for.
All right, go ahead.
Man, it's Thanksgiving Day, and the Washington Commanders met the Settlers on the banks of Plymouth. Yeah, the Washington Commanders met the Cowboys on the banks of the Plymouth to have Thanksgiving. Guess what happened?
This ain't going how you planned, is it? It wasn't a Thanksgiving Day game, you stupid fuck.
Yeah, no, I know it wasn't, but it should have been. Because guess who won?
The Cowboys.
The Cowboys won.
Yep.
And what did the Washington Commanders do?
They lost.
Well, they let them into their house, and they trusted them to lose. They trusted the shitty ass Cowboys to lose, but they didn't. They won. They let the U.S. Cowboys into their home. Washington Commanders. No, but it was, dude. This was so weird of a game.
Yeah, I agree.
There was block punts, block kicks, missed field goals, field goals blocked, field goals hitting off the upright, and one shitty team, one good team, and you couldn't tell which was which by the end of it. And the Cowboys won. They fucking put up like 50-some points on each other. 29 and 30.
Yeah, it was crazy scoring.
Yeah, you couldn't even tell who the good team and the bad team was.
The question here is the Commanders dropped their third in a row.
The Washington Commanders on Thanksgiving, what we'll call them.
You keep saying this. I don't know where you're going with this.
I don't know either.
Well, it's all Thanksgiving, and it's the Washington Commanders.
Redskins? Is that what you're trying to say?
What?
Redskins?
Oh, what the fuck did you just say?
I didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on me. Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
Anything else you want to add on to this, guys?
Go ahead, D-Lo.
I mean, Cooper Rush, he ended up winning this game for Dallas and shit. He put up good numbers this week. But, I mean, Dallas is another team, man. I don't know if they're convinced that Dak Prescott's the guy. I mean, they paid him all that money, but at the same time, they're kind of like, what would happen if we had an opportunity to get Dion and Shador together? I think it's intriguing to Jerry Jones. So,
I believe that 100% too.
And so it's one of those deals that if that opportunity came about, then I think Jerry Jones would probably jump on it. But, other than that, they're pretty much stuck with what they got, though. I mean, they guaranteed Dak and CD all that money in the offseason. Dak's the highest paid quarterback in the league now. So, and he's definitely not the best quarterback in the league. So,
no.
So it's one of those deals. You might have a hard time trading him unless you were willing to take a hit on it. You know what I mean? So, but other than that, man, I mean, divisional game. They put up a lot more points on each other. Usually these games are played defensively and tough, but this one was all offense. They both came out and were just fucking putting points up like crazy.
It was all
yeah. Yep. But other than that, man, not really anything else to say. There wasn't a whole lot of implications to it. I mean, it looks to me like Philly's taking that division, and as good as Washington looked early on, I mean, they're still a young team, man. They got a little bit of ways to go before they're ready to compete in the playoffs and shit. I mean, even if they got a wild card spot this year, I think they'd be one and done. I just don't think they're ready yet. So
I agree, D-Lo.
All right, we'll move on to the
next. Hold on.
Oh, go ahead, Ben.
I'm gonna put this out there. It's Thanksgiving. So the Cowboys met up with the Washington Commanders.
He's still on this shit, man.
It just don't seem right to me. Maybe we should be calling them somebody else. I don't know. They changed their name.
I'm just saying. You thought of this in your head, and it didn't come out of your mouth the way you anticipated it was going to. It didn't come out the way you thought.
You want it to come out of my mouth the way my head thought out?
No, I don't. No.
Me neither. So the Commanders on Thanksgiving lost to the Cowboys.
We'll try this next one.
That's all I'm going to say.
We'll try this next one, Bennett. The Kansas City Chiefs got a 30-27 win over Carolina Panthers. The Panthers dropped to 3-8 on the season. Chiefs moved to 10-1 on the season. It was a little shocking that this game was that close, with the Panthers almost getting the win. Mahomes had 3 touchdowns passing in this game. D'Lo, what'd you think about the Chiefs and how close this game was with the Panthers?
Everything that Bennett's been saying about the Lions is what I feel about the Chiefs. Other than Mahomes is a good quarterback, but where Bennett is looking for that epic collapse with the Lions, I'm looking for that with the Chiefs. Man, they seem like they're on the fringe every week. Man, Mahomes is throwing picks. They're letting teams that they should be smoking hang in there with them. And it just, I'm waiting for that collapse with the Chiefs, man. That's really all I got to say about that. Everything that Bennett's been saying about the Lions is how I feel about the Chiefs.
Well, record-wise, these are the 2 best teams in the NFL, the Chiefs and the Lions. Both are 10-1. But you're right. Everything that Bennett keeps saying, you see that with the Chiefs. They're the ones that are barely winning games, just edging out, while the Lions, meanwhile, are burning teams up and killing them. Bennett, what did you take away from this game?
It pretty much was what I thought it was going to be. Chiefs are going to win. They got a good defense. They struggle. Their running game is coming back, and when their running game gets all the way back, it'll be a lot stronger than what you guys think. The receiving core has never been the same. It's never been the same since Tyreek Hill left 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Which also makes it hard for Mahomes. Everybody wants to, put a lot of faith in him. But I mean, if you don't have the star power nor the connection, I don't give a shit what you say about anybody they bring in. You got to get a connection first, and after that, that's how you build a star. And Mahomes don't have one beside Kelsey, so this is what you get. But at the end of
don't they have DeAndre Hopkins up there?
Yes.
They just got him, and that's not a connection. They're still making a connection.
Yeah. Well, and he's old too, man. He's not the same guy he was 4 years ago.
No,
but over the last,
he's still a decent receiver, but he's not what he was then.
Over the last few weeks, though, Bryce Young has played really well. He's played pretty good football for how he.
Well, you think Andy Reid should take him on?
Who?
Andy Reid.
No, I'm just saying that over the last 3 weeks,
no,
he's put up pretty good 263 passing yards, 1 touchdown. He didn't turn the ball over. I'm just saying.
No, I agree. I agree with you, Phil. And they said that several teams had reached out to Carolina right before the trade deadline to see if they were interested in moving Bryce Young, and that the coach explained, I'm not done with him. I just want him to get more comfortable in the system before I throw him out there to the wolves. So the coach wasn't looking at pulling him out of the game as a demotion. He was looking at it as you're not comfortable in the system yet, and it's going to be only a disservice to you to throw you out there. Now, I don't know what 2 or 3 weeks of Andy Dalton turned around and did for him, but he's playing a lot better. Maybe the coach just built up his confidence. You know what I mean? I'm not real sure what happened, but he's playing a lot better than.
Not gonna be shitty. He's just red-haired fucking kid.
What's that?
Maybe Bryce Young is. I'm not gonna be as shitty as this guy, the red-haired fucking kid out here.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I don't know about you, but I take a little bit of salt when it comes to a red-haired fucking outperforming me.
All right.
Okay. Well, yeah. Gingers have no souls, they say.
All right.
Yeah, I took it from him.
Oh, God damn it.
All right. Where do you go on from that? The Titans picking up a 32-27 win on the Texans. Texans dropped to 7-5. Titans move up to 3-8. Bennett, what'd you think about this game?
This was money, man. This is absolutely money. Texans are good. The Texans are decent. The Titans are good, and it's a divisional game. And you knew the Titans are going to play them tough. You knew the Texans are going to play tough, and actually came down to game planning. I think the Titans had their fucking number. The Texans are focused on more of, which I don't think they should be, but they're focused on more of winning the division and looking on past the point, and where the Titans are, they're below average, but they still got a chance. And it's like, hey, focus on next game. That's a real scenario, and I think that's what you got out of this. Like, they focused on this game, and Texans were focused on like maybe getting into the playoffs already.
D'Lo, what's your take on this game?
Well, first of all, I don't understand the fucking thing that Bennett just said. That was so all over the place, dude. Like, I mean, he went from fucking this motherfucker, dude. You know, he went from speaking fucking Nigerian there to fucking French to fucking Spanish to I didn't know. You know, he was all over the place on that one, but the Titans are not good. The Titans are not a good team. They've traded away, you know, their star receiver. I mean, Ridley stepped up since Hopkins has left and stuff, but
that's right.
Levis is not good. Mason Rudolph is not good. So they really don't have a good option at quarterback. Their defense has held strong this year. What's that?
Levis looked good in this game. 278 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he played.
Yeah, I mean, he's had some all right games, man. I think this is more of a credit to the fact that the Texans defense looked like shit in this game, man. I mean, every time the Texans would put up points, the Titans would come roaring back, man. And it just in the first half, I checked this game at halftime of the Bears game. I turned it over to that's what I'm saying. That the reason that the Texans lost. God damn it, dude. They lost because their defense played like shit, is what it was.
Well, they lost because fucking the Texans are better, as in like coaching.
Makes sense. Makes total sense.
Fuck you, D-Lo.
I'm just trying, dude. I'm trying to hang with you here, man. Like you're throwing curveballs at me.
I don't know. Ain't you, motherfucker?
God damn it.
All right, we'll go on to the next game, bud.
Sorry, D-Lo.
You're good, bud.
Oh my God.
The awkward silence here. What are we waiting on?
We're waiting on Big Dumb.
Big Bill.
He's trying to learn how to pronounce Philadelphia.
I was laughing.
Oh shit! I thought he had a heart attack over there, dude. I thought this motherfucker. I looked up and he was all hunched over and shit.
I had pop coming out my eyes because I was laughing so much.
Well, I thought this motherfucker was dead.
He had a heart attack.
We would have got a lot of views if Phil died on the podcast, dude.
No. All right, the Broncos got a 29-19 victory over the Raiders. Broncos move up to 7-5. Raiders drop to 2-9. God help me. Bennett, tell me what you thought about this game.
No, putting it back on you, Phil. Tell me what you think about this game.
Well, Broncos defense is what we said it was. They are that good. Bo Nix, he had 2 touchdowns, 273 yards. As D'Lo said earlier, nobody thought Bo Nix was going to be as good as what he has been. He set the Broncos rookie TD record in this game. I mean, the Raiders are as bad as what we could possibly think that they were going to be. They're going to challenge the Giants for the number 1 spot in the draft, and that's my takeaway from this. D'Lo, what's your takeaway from this game?
Let me ask you something before I jump off into my take. Do you guys believe that any team that is taking Shedeur Sanders is going to try to convince Deion to come with him? Like any team, because there's probably only going to be four or five teams in the running. So do you believe any of those 4 or 5 teams are going to try to convince Deion to come with him?
More than one of those teams are going to try to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild, man. I mean, and then what do you think's gonna? How you think he's gonna do some crazy shit and try to like make a trade to get Travis Hunter there? Because everybody's saying that everybody's saying that Travis Hunter is he's gonna have to pick a defense or offense, and Deion Sanders is like, there's no reason that he has to. He can play both, you know. So
there's a reason it's NFL.
Yeah.
Not college football anymore.
But there's no way.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter is probably going to be a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, but I mean, there's ways of trading to get somebody's first-round pick. Like if he went to Dallas, if he went to Dallas, he could send Micah Parsons away. He could send their offensive line isn't good.
That's getting crazy, though. I mean, that's dismantling a team like that. So,
I mean, but the way he works is now he's never done this in the NFL, but the way he's worked in college is he breaks it down to the bare bones, and then he brings his guys in. You know what I mean? So
I'll tell you what, he's going to ruin his son's career in the NFL. And he's not going to have a job long in the NFL. I can tell you that much. If he follows his son to wherever his son goes, he will not last long in the NFL, not with the way he does things. Bennett, you got an input on this?
See, I think that he's
I think that Shedeur will get drafted probably number 1. I think Deion will go really close behind him, not drafted, but like go to that team. And I think he'll ruin his son's career.
Yeah, I mean, I think that no, it's absolutely not college ball anymore. And he would have to hire the right coordinators, and he would probably ruin any relationship with any coordinator by trying to step on their toes, thinking that they're not coaching Shedeur right. But I think that his style is better fit for the pros. He's well, maybe not. Maybe it's better fit for college because he's a lightning rod. He's a lightning rod, and he takes the attention off of the players and brings it onto himself. That's one thing that I've always given him credit for, is he always carries the attention.
He is not fit for the pros. He's never been meant for the pros to ever coach. Like if you win one game, he's the best coach in the whole fucking world. If you lose one game, he's the worst coach in the whole world.
Well, I agree, D'Lo.
Well, I mean,
he's a rod, but he can get young boys to follow him, like you said, in college. But he's not going to get these grown men. They're not going to buy into what Deion's saying.
Yeah.
Let's say young boys, Phil.
What I'm saying is young men.
But I mean, I just got to feel like beyond once his boys graduate, really, I mean, how many motherfuckers are going to know who Deion Sanders are? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Does that dude carry the same kind of legacy as a Jerry Rice? Yeah, I guess he would. Primetime was pretty big, man. So, you know,
I get what you're saying, man. I do. I understand what you're saying.
I'm just saying, will it be a fading star? Like he uses that in his recruiting tactics and shit. Like, look, I've already been the star. I've been the top dog. Like, I can show your son how to manage that life and this and that. But do people stop relating to that at a certain point because that star's faded on him? You know what I mean?
At a certain age, yeah.
So,
all right, let's move on to the next game, man. We had Green Bay picking up a 38-10 win over the 49ers. The Niners dropped to 5-6 on the season. Green Bay moves to 8-3. Guys, this was a division rival game. You saw.
Was it? They're not in the division.
No. I'm talking. No.
No.
Well, what I meant to say was this was your division rival. You know what I'm saying? Coming out and pretty much stomping down the 49ers. A 38-10 win. That's 28 points. That's a big win, man. What did you guys take away from the Packers doing this to the 49ers?
Who you want to start out here?
And the Packers have picked it up.
Yeah. D'Lo, what do you think about this game?
Bennett's been saying all season, man. I was dogging the Packers early on in the season. Like that was the team I didn't believe in, and Bennett was like, "I'm telling you, dude, they're legit. They're put together well. They're well coached. All that shit." So, I mean, the one thing that you got to watch out for with the Packers is Jordan Love I think he's got the most games in the NFL right now consecutively with an interception. So he likes to turn that ball over, but they just seem to be doing enough to get the job done, man, and convincingly sometimes. So I really don't have nothing to knock on them, man. I mean, that the only thing that's going to hurt them is they're in such a tough division, man, that at any point, you got Minnesota nipping at their heels all the time. And so any collapse, they could drop off, and that could cost them their wild card spot or something. You know what I mean?
No, they're not nipping at their heels. Green Bay's nipping at their heels.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're probably going to go back and forth a couple times before the end of the season. Like they'll switch spots, and then, so at any mistake, one of them's going to lose their spot.
Well, Jordan Love did not have an interception in this game, though. But the 49ers were without Brock Purdy in this game. And
they were without Brock Purdy. Somebody else was injured. I don't know if Debo played or whatever, and maybe he was hurt but played. And the Niners came in kind of undermanned for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hate the Packers, so I hate seeing them win, and I would like to see somebody really just put a beating down on them. I would love that. But
the thing is it's getting that time of year now, man, where Chicago and Green Bay and some of these northeast teams that shit is a real home field advantage for a team that plays in that shit. And if you got any teams coming up from the South, anything like that, they're not used to that type of weather, man. So
that's true. All right, man. We'll move on. In a kind of a shocker, man, Seattle 16-6 over the Cardinals. The Cardinals dropped down to 6-5 on the season. Seattle moves up to 6-5 on the season. Was not a great game for Kyler Murray. They're both tied now in the division. What's your takeaway from this, D'Lo?
Man, I haven't had a whole lot of belief in the Cardinals all season, but you've been tooting their horn and shit, saying that they're a pretty solid team. But something's up with Kyler Murray, man. Like, I don't know if that dude. I mean, I understand that the whole thing about the film study shit and all that, but I don't know if that dude just gets bored, like, as the season progresses, or what it is, or I have a hard time believing that it's just other teams getting film on him, because he's been playing in the league long enough. You should have film on him. But he comes into the season hot, and then he just starts to take a slump, man. It's crazy, man. I just don't know if he gets to a point where he's just like, man, I'm bored. I just got my mind on other things right now, but I'm not sure. But that's, to me, that's why the Cardinals will probably never be a really successful team under him.
Bennett, what's your takeaway from this game?
I don't want to say.
Is it a secret?
No, I just think I think it'd be controversy if I said what I want, like what I'm
Okay,
thinking.
yeah. Wait, we'll keep it like that, bud.
Oh, you want me to say?
No, no,
I mean,
no.
we're on here to give our opinions, but no, it's all good.
We're running a little long already. Let's we got 2 more games to finish up on. So let's get these games out before we do our picks. In the Sunday night game, we had the Eagles picking up a 37-20 win over the Rams. The Rams dropped to 5-6. The Eagles move up to 9-2. I thought that the Rams would play a lot better in this game. I really did. And so, I don't. Is this? I'm asking both of you guys. Is this a sign that the Eagles are really that good, or is this a sign that the Rams aren't as good as what I thought they were? Bennett, tell me, what is it?
I on the side of the Eagles, man. Really am. I'm like big on the Eagles right now. The Rams, I'm actually big on too. So this is really hard for me. But I just think the Eagles got to figure it out. And the Rams, with the new defense, are trying to figure it out.
D'Lo, what's your take on this game?
Yeah, I mean the Eagles are they're good, dude. They're gonna be right there with Detroit at the end, competing for the NFC to go into the Super Bowl. So I just the Rams are better than we thought they were, but I don't think they're good enough to compete. I mean, if they were to get a wild card spot, they'd be a one and done team, man. So I mean, as much as we expect them to compete with the good teams and stuff, sometimes it's really not going to be that surprising to see them get their asses handed to them, man.
I will bring up Saquon. He set an Eagles franchise record with 255 yards rushing and 2 TDs in this game. D'Lo, let me ask you this. If I was to ask you who's the 2 best running backs in the NFL right now, who would you say?
The 2 best running backs?
Yes.
Right now, I'd have to go with Saquon and Derrick Henry, but I mean, if they can get Christian McCaffrey back at full speed, then he's right there in the conversation.
Bennett, who would you say is the 2 best running backs in the NFL right now?
Henry and Saquon.
That's good because I don't know if you guys know this, but they're playing each other this week. So that's something that we're going to be talking about here in a minute. But is there anything else you guys want to add on to this Eagles-Rams game?
No, I think that's about it, man. I mean, I still think that
I do. I want to add something.
All right, go ahead, Bennett.
Watch out the second week for the Eagles defense. I know you guys are laughing at me because I'm drunk. Watch out the second week for the Eagles defense or the Rams defense.
All right. Let's go to the Monday night game. We had the Ravens picking up a 30-23 win over the Chargers. The Ravens moved up to 8-4. The Chargers dropped to 7-4 on the season. When we did the picks last week, this was a big contention because this was brother versus brother. And I was the only one that took the Ravens. You guys believe in the Jim Harbaugh way, and you lost. But in this game, what stood out to you, D'Lo, about this game? Was there something that stood out?
Not a lot, man. I mean, I figured this was going to be a solid game. Didn't the Ravens kind of handled it, though, didn't they?
30-23.
Okay, yeah. But, it's just one of those things. The only thing that I caught about this game coming out of it was they're still saying that Justin Herbert looks out of place in that system. They're like he's just not, they're like he's just not, he doesn't look like he's comfortable in that system, man.
This is a guy that was passing for 300 yards a game. And once again, he passed for 218 yards this past week. He even has a dude there,
Yep.
a white receiver named McHonky.
I don't think his name's Mick Honky, but
McHonky. It cracks me up every time I see that. McHonky. Yeah. Bennett, what was your takeaway from this game?
McConkey.
McHonky, yeah. It's not Mick Honky like
I know, it's McConkey.
Yeah.
Bennett, what was your takeaway from this game, bud?
Chargers are all up and up. The Ravens are one of the better teams in the league. I'd say top 3.
Yeah.
But it's hard to win with the Chargers when they've had the team they've had. And Harbaugh's doing the best he can with what he got. And
I agree with that, Bennett. He's getting the most out of a lot of his players, but
we'll look at next year. I don't think he has a chance this year.
Yeah, I agree. But he's getting the most out of a lot of his guys. But man, it seems that Justin Herbert's suffering in that process, man. So
good now there. Justin Herbert will easily be a first-round draft pick trade for
shit, probably a couple of them, man. You know, he's a proven asset, man.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man. You guys ready to move on to this week's picks for week 13? I've already made my picks. I will say them along with you guys. You guys just let me know who's going to win. In the first game here, we have the Bears taking on the Lions. I have chose the Lions to win on Turkey Day. D'Lo, who do you have here?
I'm picking the Lions as well.
Bennett?
Yeah, Lions.
All right. Game 2, today on Turkey Day, we have the Giants traveling to Dallas to play the Cowboys. I took the Cowboys in this. Who you got, D'Lo?
It's the Cowboys versus the Giants. I'm taking the Cowboys. Yeah, man, the Giants are in bad shape.
Bennett?
Giants.
Could you say that one more time?
Giants.
All right. So you're taking Drew Lock and the Giants.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure. All right.
Next. Fucking falsified, man. They won 1 week in a row. That's it.
All right.
Yeah, but I mean, goddamn, what are the Giants coming into the game with, man? Like,
I don't think it has nothing to do with the quarterback.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, okay. Well, that's one theory.
Hey, you picking an upset, baby. All right, we'll go to the Thursday night game, Turkey Day. We're talking about the Dolphins traveling to Green Bay. I have taken the Dolphins. I think that the Dolphins are going to come out and win this game. I really do. I know that's probably not going to be the odds-on favorite here, but D'Lo, who are you taking?
Who is this? This is Green Bay and Miami?
Yes.
I'm taking Green Bay only because of what the temperature is expected to be tonight, man.
Yeah. I forgot. So, I didn't even take that into consideration, and you had just brought that up. But still, I'm going to roll with them. You know what I'm saying? I might lose it, but sometimes you gotta take a chance, and I'm taking a chance on the Dolphins this week. Who you got, Bennett?
I hear you.
Green Bay.
Green Bay?
Yeah.
So you take Drew Lock and the Giants over the Cowboys, but not Tua and the Dolphins over the Packers. All right. Tomorrow night, the first time ever, we're talking about Black Friday football. We have the Raiders traveling to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. I am taking the Chiefs. Who you got, D'Lo?
I'm going with Kansas City, man. I expect this to be ugly. It looks like the writing's on the wall for Antonio Pierce, and this may be the game that they go ahead and pull the trigger on him. So
I agree. Bennett, who do you have? The Chiefs or the Raiders?
Chiefs.
All right. Clean sweep by us all. All right, next up, we have the Jets traveling to Seattle to play the Seahawks. I have taken the Seahawks. Who you got, D'Lo?
yeah, I'm taking the Seahawks, man. You know, I was expecting that, you know, once this new offensive coordinator took over with Rodgers and shit, you were going to see an improvement, and it just hasn't happened, man. And so, yeah, I got to go with the Seahawks. I don't have a lot of faith in the Seahawks, and the Jets could very well come out and win if they can have a good day, but I just don't. I don't have enough faith to pick them. So
I agree. Bennett, who are you taking, Seahawks or the Jets?
All right, Seahawks.
All right. Clean sweep once again. All right, we have the Colts traveling to the Patriots to play a game in Foxborough. I've taken the Colts. Who you got, D'Lo?
you know what? I think I'm gonna take the Patriots in this, man.
All right.
I just don't think Anthony Richardson's good at all.
I don't either.
And he's back in there as their quarterback, and I could see him coming out and completing 10 passes in the whole game. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Bennett, who you got, Colts or Patriots?
he's gone. He left.
Oh, we lost him. Okay. Well, I'll have to get. I'll have to get his picks from him. All right, D'Lo, who you got? Next up, we have Steelers versus the Bengals. I took the Bengals. Who do you have?
I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh, man. That was a really bad, like, I'm sure that loss hit hard from last week, but if there's anybody that can pick him back up and you know, say, you know, get back on the horse and let's go win this game, I think it's Tomlin. And so I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh on this one.
Bennett's back. Bennett, who do you have, Colts or Patriots?
Colts.
Colts. All right. And who do you have? Bengals at the Steelers.
Steelers.
All right. I'll call it back up. All right. Next up, we have the Chargers traveling to Atlanta to play the Falcons. I took the Falcons. Who you got, D'Lo?
Who's at the Falcons?
Chargers.
Oh, I'm gonna go with San Diego on this one, man. I don't know. Both teams have flaws. You know, like I said, you can't trust Justin Herbert with San Diego, and Atlanta and Kirk Cousins haven't necessarily been what I thought they were going to be this year either. So,
Bennett, who do you got, Falcons or Chargers?
Chargers.
All right, next up, we got
you
the
sound
Texans.
like a totally different motherfucker now, dude. What'd you do? Go fucking do a little key hit or something?
Novocaine.
Bump. All right, next up, we got the Texans traveling to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. I took the Texans. Who you got, D'Lo?
Yeah, I'm taking the Texans, man. I mean, the Jaguars are bad. I don't know how their coaching staff has survived. Yeah, it's just, yeah, Texans for sure.
Who you got, Bennett? Texans or Jags?
Yeah, fuck, man. Anybody but Jacksonville?
You what?
Yeah. Anybody but Jacksonville.
What's the game? What's the game?
Texans.
Jacksonville versus Houston.
Yeah, anybody but Jacksonville. I'll take Houston.
All right. Next up, the Cardinals take on the Vikings. I have taken the Cardinals in this game. Who are you taking, D'Lo?
You took the Cardinals over the Vikings?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, I'm taking the Vikings.
I'm taking Cardinals.
All right.
Brock will be glad to hear that.
And Chad's happy with you taking his Vikings.
Yeah.
Next up, the Titans, who Bennett let us know earlier is a really good team, takes on the Commanders. Do the Commanders drop 4 straight?
Oh my God! Yeah, go ahead. Say
I took the Commanders. Who you got, D'Lo?
Man, this is a nail biter, bro. I mean, it honestly is. To me it's a lot closer than it should be, but I'm gonna go with the Commanders. So
Bennett?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Titans over the Washington.
Here he goes.
Red feathers in their hair, big noses, red skin, Commanders.
All right. We're going to roll to the next game. We got the Buccaneers traveling to Carolina to play.
I don't give a fuck if they travel downstream and track the deer that they hunted. I'm still picking.
Who you got, D'Lo?
Bennett is feeling very pilgrimish on this Thanksgiving Thursday. He's thinking about going out and tracking down a turkey here in a little bit. So
maybe I'll be a commander of the tracking down.
Who's this game again, Phil?
Bucks at the Panthers.
I'm going to take the Bucks, man. But this is a division game, and like you said, Chase Young's been playing better, man. But I still think that the Bucks pull this out.
Bennett, who you taking?
There's no way I'm not taking anyone on Thanksgiving more than the Washington Commanders.
You didn't even take the Commanders. You took the Titans.
I don't give a shit.
And we're asking you the winner of the Bucks versus Panthers game.
Give me Panthers. I like Panthers.
Yeah, but the Bucks probably sailed in to fucking Plymouth Rock there on their boats. I mean, you could tie all this in, man.
They're pirates. All right. Rams at the Saints. I took the Rams. Who you got, D'Lo?
I'm going to take the Rams too, man. The Saints, man, they started out so hot this season, man, and then they just collapsed. So,
Bennett, who you got, Rams or Saints?
I got Rams.
All right. Clean sweep.
It's crazy that at the beginning of the season, Dennis Allen, which was the coach for the Saints that got fired, he went from being the coach of the year candidate to fucking getting fired all in a few weeks, man.
Mm-hmm. All right. To me, this is one of the best games of the week. We got the Eagles taking on the Ravens. You got Saquon. You got Henry. I took the Eagles. Who you got, D'Lo?
Oh, man. I think I'm going to go with the Eagles. Only because there's been a couple inconsistent games with the Ravens this year. I think they lost to like the Raiders or something, or they lost to somebody. That you were like the Browns. That's who it was. You're like, oh shit. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Eagles, man.
All right, Bennett, who you got? Eagles or Ravens?
All right, I'm all with the Eagles for the rest of the year, I think.
All right.
Damn, so you're picking them to only lose 2 games this year, huh?
It sounds like it.
On in and beat the fucking Lions.
All right, we got the 49ers traveling to Orchard Park to play the Bills. I took the Bills. Who do you have, D'Lo?
For the same reason that I didn't take the Dolphins, man. I'm taking the Bills in this. I can't believe you're taking the Bills and not taking the Packers in that game.
Yeah, I know. It's my upset of the week. Bennett, who do you have? Bills or 49ers?
I think 49ers get it done. Upset.
All right.
In Buffalo. Damn.
I said upset in Buffalo. Upset.
No, I'm with it, brother. I'm just amplifying your pick a little bit, bro.
And the Monday night game this week, we have the Browns traveling to Denver to play the Broncos. I took the Broncos. Who do you have, D'Lo?
Yeah, I think I'm Broncos as well.
Bennett?
Yeah, I'm going Jameis.
Browns, huh?
Yes, sir.
I want to know if these are Bennett's picks or if these are Steve's picks.
What?
Just asking. Just asking. All right. That has been the conclusion to our Week 12 review and Week 13 preview. Anything else you guys want to add before we jump off here?
Nope. We'll try to probably squeeze in a jet up, bear down, probably maybe Saturday morning or something like that. We might even try to get it in tomorrow, but
Sounds good to me.
Just other than that, man, we'll see y'all next time.
Anything you guys say, Bennett?
Happy Thanksgiving. I know I say derogatory shit a lot about races and people and human beings. I love you all. Male, female, children, black, white, Asian, whatever, man.
God, dude. End this shit. He's gonna say something that's gonna get him.